Alright, it's time we take a closer look at the Kenworth C500 semi-truck that I built. It's got a really nice, mean look to it. We'll start off from the front bumper back. These are, I believe they're Racing. Yeah, they're Racing D-rings and mounts. Trusty little cow RC sticker. I made the front bumper. These the fenders I made from sheet styrene along with the bumper. The headlight housings are actually a stock Kenworth rear bumper that I cut up. It's got a RC 4-wheel drive grille. It's got the side step battery boxes and the fuel tank. It's mounted on the back. I think it looks pretty good back there with the big giant slant cut stacks. The tires are RC 4-wheel drive, what are they, mud thrashers? Yeah, they're the stock Trailfinder 2 tires. And they stretch out real nice and fit on the 1.7 semi-truck wheels. But I did something a little different. You might notice this wheel looks kind of funny. Well, I can't really show you the fronts because they're glued on. We'll take a look under the cab in a minute. Let's see, I'll set the camera down and take a rear tire off. The front is exactly the opposite of the rear. The rear has a full outer dually wheel with just a section of the inner dually wheel. And one bead of the tire goes on here, and one bead of the tire goes on here. The fronts are the exact opposite. The front is a whole dually inner wheel with just the section off of the outer. And they fit really good. It's almost the perfect width for it. It's got a RC 4-wheel drive Punisher shaft. I broke the stock one, just twisted the end right off. With a RC 4-wheel drive Mega Truck shaft in the front. I believe they don't make those ones anymore. With the stock dog bone in the rear, and I need to take that out and throw it in the garbage. It pops out every time I try to go up a hill. That flexes out the rear suspension. So this one also has a different transmission in it. It's not stock. Here, I'll take the body off. I'm not using my tripod because it got broken. Something fell on it and took a lot of damage. I gotta get a new tripod. I'll get that done. Get that one of these days. So we'll undo all the wiring. The receiver's coming apart. I'll just undo it down here. Oh, I gotta set the camera down for a second. Alright, set the cab aside. You have the cab. You can see it, all the wiring in there for the lights. I made the light wiring harness. It's not too hard once you figure out what resistors you need to use. I use one resistor for each light just so that it's easy to tell what lights burn out. So on the inside, notice the metal plate here. That metal plate is to reinforce the transmission. It's actually mounted to that. We'll flip it up and lay it on its side. Yeah, just like that. So it's got a RC 4-wheel drive R2 transmission with a dig, but it's all locked so that it won't disconnect. I only got that one because it costs less. It's actually mounted directly to that plate that's the floor of the cab. So it made that mounting real easy. It doesn't hang down too far. It looks really good. Got rear axles, stock, pretty much stock. The only thing you have to do when you make it a 6x6 is lower the suspension. You can see the stock holes with the everything mounted below them. It's got a Savix waterproof servo in it. I think this one's got, yeah, it's got a Sidewinder 3. The only thing I need to waterproof the BEC, the speed control, or the receiver's already been waterproof, so this truck's almost completely waterproof. I could drive it through the creek if I wanted to, but I'm not going to, because it's too nice. I like it too much. I use that for the rock crawlers. It's not very fast. But it's got a whole hell of a lot of torque. It just twisted that stock drive line real easy and without a lot of effort. So that is the C500 Kenworth. Hopefully I can get some trailers built soon. It all kind of depends on getting some extra money so I can buy some flatbed trailers so I can take them and modify them. So I hope you enjoyed this and liked the truck. Please like this video, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.